what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
We'll try not to too much talk over each other, but again, we are girls and we are.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, moving on.
Well, I think it'll get hard faster if it gets.
Well, I got worried that maybe I was missing out on something.
No, I wouldn't heat a muffin up.
Because I was with the
Unless
person
it's
I was
super
with.
fresh and it just came out of the oven. That's
No.
warm.
No.
But I wouldn't reheat a muffin.
This probably came right out of the package.
Muffin, and if you want your butter to melt.
True.
It was a blueberry muffin, and the person that I was with wanted hers heated up, and then I got a little panicky.
And then you felt like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to do it too?
Well, like a Pop-Tart. I had completely forgot that you actually are technically supposed to
Eat Pop-Tarts.
toast Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
but I
we
don't
never
ever
do.
do that.
We never do.
No, that's a waste.
The kids
Pop-Tarts in
just
the
eat
raw?
that right out of the package.
Yeah, Pop-Tart raw. You don't ever think about eating a Pop-Tart raw. I'm totally talking off the cuff here,
No,
Mary-Margaret.
we are. That's the thing is that we are
started?
here. We have started, and I'm just going to leave it as it is. We're not. I'm going to say, hey, welcome to Chick Chat. Hey, welcome to Chick Chat. That's how we're going to do it. It has been, in case you ladies don't realize it, it has been forever since I have had a show, and my bad. But life just gets in the way sometimes, and that's just how it is.
And
so here we are. So it's Mary-Margaret, and I've got Karen here. Hello.
Hello.
And Suzanne.
Hello.
Hello. We have actually 2 shows scheduled in 1 week. I'm doing back-to-back because I've been gone so long. I figured I'm just going to cram 2 of them in. So covering some stuff today, and then the next, I think next Wednesday or something, I'm recording a second one.
Okay.
So
Good job.
Lot
you
can
guys
happen.
get, you guys get the first little touch now. Since we have last recorded the show, and this tells you how long it's been since I've done a show, is that the 50 Shades movie has come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to back up on this, neither one of you have read the books.
Not
No.
read the book, not seen the movie.
Me either.
Either one.
Nope.
Okay, I have read all the books.
Okay.
I have not seen the movie. Mainly because there's 2 reasons. One, a girlfriend and I were talking. We were like, oh, we should totally go see it. She's read the books as well. We were like, we're going to go see it. And then it was getting such a hoopla at the theater. And all these, people were just hoarding the place. I mean, it was just ridiculous. That I was like, I do not care to sit next to a bunch of people that, A, had not read the books. And I don't want to sound snobby about it, but
Yeah.
Right.
they hadn't. I mean, I know it's not the same topic, but it's just like when people read Harry Potter and
Right.
stuff. Like, if you read the books, you almost felt a little more entitled to get to go
Right.
see the movie and judge it for yourself.
Yes,
then.
exactly.
You can't judge it if you didn't read the books. But, so I just didn't feel like sitting next to all those people that were there just because of something else they thought it was going to be.
Well, perhaps I have some preconceived notion about the movie, but I've heard that there's a lot of sex in the movie, in the book, whatever. I want to get y'all's take on this. So I keep hearing a bunch of women saying that they're going with their girlfriends.
Right.
Is this a movie that you want to take your girlfriends to, or do you want to go with your lover?
Significant other.
Yes, because if I'm going to get turned on in the movie theater, I don't want my best girlfriend sitting beside of me necessarily.
Because whose hands you're going to rub on?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Or who's going to get it later?
Right.
Who's going to reap the benefits later?
Which is one of the benefits of reading the books.
Oh, okay. Well, because then you can do it in your own home.
But
I'm a visual person.
But the movie, and I can't say because I haven't seen it yet, and I'll get to part 2 in a second as to why. But I'm not sure how they're going to portray a lot of it.
Okay.
What
do you mean without giving it away?
Yes. Well, everybody's heard about the whole, whips and chains and
Yes. Yeah,
tying her up
S&M.
or whatever, right? Without giving away, I just feel like there is, and I don't want to sound corny about it, because was it my favorite book in the whole world? No. Was it the most wonderfully written book? No. But was it a get away from reality book
Yes.
for a while that had an intriguing topic that, I obviously read all 3 books. Yes. because it actually was a story. It was not just, hey, these two people meet and then they're in this S&M relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Like, the man has a problem, like a mental history and problem, and it's almost like there's this, she's learning his world, what he's only known his entire life.
Yeah.
Like, and I say entire life. That's all he's ever known of love.
Okay.
And she has had nothing to do with that. So then she comes in and she's, sort of scared of him and what he's doing. But I honestly, in the book, and I don't know how it is in the movie again, but in the book, all 3 books, I can probably count on one hand how many times they go in that room where all that stuff is.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just page 2, sex.
No.
So there is a story.
There is a plot.
There's character development.
Absolutely. Background, you do see some flashbacks in the book, stuff, which is another thing I'm curious about if they touch on in the movie or not. Now, the sex in a book, just like in any other book, just like the Harlequin books our moms used to read.
Oh, gosh, yes.
It is detailed because it's a book.
My grandmother used to take the covers off of those books.
Yeah, really?
I guess to try to dissuade us from reading them, but it didn't work because if there's no cover on the book, then I want to know why.
I really want to read it. Well, this, obviously the book goes into extreme detail, so it feels like you're reading a lot of sex.
Yeah.
But jokingly, my husband said something to my mom one time, like, can you believe that Mary-Margaret has read all of those 50 Shade books? And my mom was like, well, I'm assuming it's just like all those books we used to read back in the 80s.
Oh, gosh.
And I know your mom.
Right.
Oh, dear.
But that's the truth.
Right.
That's the same type that these books were that all of our moms were reading, and they're all just fine.
But it may make you disappointed then, Mary-Margaret, if you do go see the movies.
Yeah.
Because movies are going to Hollywood it up, and it's going to make it all about sex because, as we know, sex sells.
Absolutely. Right. Which is part of the reason that book sold, is because I do feel like the Harlequin style got away from for a while.
Yeah.
But then maybe this was sort of the reboot of it.
Yep.
And our generation had just never read it really before.
Right. Or had anything written for us.
Exactly. And now you're reading it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is almost smut.
Yeah.
And
but then you're like, no, but wait, they've always been writing like this.
Yeah.
But I think the big difference is, while there were movies like that in the 80s, the one that comes to mind is 9.5 Weeks. That's
Which I've also never seen.
Oh.
But I don't know, and of course I haven't seen the movie either, but I don't think it is as detailed.
Yeah.
Or graphically detailed. So I think, not only, it might be a reboot, but I think we're moving into a time where, maybe it's out there. It's a little bit more prevalent.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just, all these people, I've seen so many posts on Facebooks and articles and everything about people saying, oh, how could you subject yourself to watching that type of relationship? It's so demeaning to women.
Those are probably the closet watchers, by the way.
Right. In my personal opinion, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, obviously. I have a feeling I might have to put that disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
Absolutely.
So, but my whole thing is it's in the book, at least, again, in the book, there is not one time that she is either made to do something she does not want, or that she does not initiate something.
Okay.
She's curious.
Absolutely.
Free will.
She doesn't know why.
Free
but
will.
she has, every ability to stop, and when she does say stop at any time, he does.
Okay.
So there is a very clear cut in my mind. There's no, pun intended, gray area in there that has like
No, there's 50 shades.
Yes,
Yeah, really.
But there's no real gray area about, wait, did she want that, or
Right.
he forced that on her? No, I never ever felt that way.
That's good to know.
Yeah, no, it was. It was just a story. It is. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Now I'm interested.
So here's where the second part comes in.
All right.
So I have recently made an agreement that.
To get into S&M?
Wow. Well.
Confessions
No.
with Mary-Margaret.
Wow.
Actually, we are going to be doing a mashup episode on the 50 Shades of Grey movie
Okay.
with Foot Candle Films.
Oh,
boy.
no. Really?
Wait. Does that mean that Alan and Chris have to watch the movie?
It absolutely does.
Are you kidding me?
I love it.
That's going to be awesome.
We have all three agreed. So for everyone listening that does not listen, Foot Candle Films is another Mesh podcast. It's on this network. You should go check it out. Two guys that love movies, and they sit around and they talk movies. They are, actually Alan is at a film festival right now as we're recording this. He's out watching lots of movies. Chris is going to it this weekend, and they're hosting a Foot Candle Film Society. They host one every month that shows a movie every month here in town, but they're also getting ready to have the Foot Candle Film Festival, which will be coming up later in this year. It's a big deal. It's an awesome show and concept, but they've never really done a girly movie.
Nope. Wait, are you going to have to watch it with them?
Well, that was part of the deal, was that I do not have to watch it in front of them. And so, in fact, I think we're all going to wait until it comes on iTunes.
Okay.
And everybody can watch it in the comfort of their own house.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do an joint episode. It will be released on both Chick Chat and Foot Candle pages.
Yeah.
So that everyone
I
can
cannot
see
wait.
and listen.
That is going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait either.
I can already tell you what everybody's going to say. I can tell you everything. But then I got a little surprised the other day. Chris said, so are we serious about this whole mashup thing? And I said, well, we all shook on it. Like, we all agreed on it. He's like, all right. And he said that he was actually really curious now because apparently a couple of film critics that Chris listens to and trusts have said some, quote, interesting things about the movie that have made Chris more interested to see it.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Right?
not like him.
No. So I've, like I told Alan and Chris both, I was like, I know what you're going to say. I can already tell you how the episode's going to go. I was like, but I will have to take the stance that I'm the only person that's read the books.
Yeah.
And I'm the only girl at the table. Like,
Yep.
let's be honest.
Maybe you ought to get another girl.
I know. Got to see if somebody else either can watch it or, I don't know. It might be interesting to have somebody that's not read the books watch it.
Right.
But see,
That's female.
then I feel like one of the guys would have had to have read the books.
And
I ain't going to happen.
that's
No, I
not
don't
going to
see that.
happen, I wouldn't think. I mean, maybe for research purposes.
I doubt it. I just doubt it. So anyway, that's our big news about what's coming up with that, and that's why I am holding off on watching it
I'm
for right
pretty
now,
excited
because
to-
I'm going
to
to have
listen
to
to
listen
that.
to the
Yep.
mashup.
Do we have an iTunes release date?
I do not have that,
Okay.
but
I was
Chris,
curious.
but I was at the theater a couple of weekends ago, and there was still like one showing being played of at the main theater.
Right.
So it's probably not too far off though, because it comes out on iTunes before, going to the movie store. Can you
They
imagine
are
going to the
totally
movie store?
going
store.
to
Yeah, really. I don't-
intellectually dissect that movie, which is
gonna-
awesome.
Well,
But it's
unless
funny.
you're the only one sitting there beside him.
Who has read the book?
Yeah, who has to listen to it and feel like, ugh.
But to hear them go back and forth and to be very serious about a movie with the topic for the movie, like I said, is going to be very Hollywood. It's probably going to be more of the sex scenes from the book.
And for their perspective, that movie made a hell of a lot of money.
Yes. It
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Which to me says a lot still about our society.
Well, it did have some
that
pretty
we
people.
are still sex starved. And it's not that we're sex starved, it's that we're constantly being told, I'm on my soapbox now. We're constantly being told, what we can and cannot say, and not to say that there should not be censoring, but this is just another proof to me that we need to relax a little bit. Not go into S&M, but if sex is still selling this much, then there just has to be another approach to it.
It's
Well-
the driving force.
Yeah,
In
and
the world.
From
Yeah.
what I understand, it was a pretty interesting article. I wish I could re-find it, but there was a article or a blog post or something about how this movie, it was almost laughable, the attention it was getting here when apparently, in other countries.
Oh, God, yeah.
This is
We're still
nothing.
very Puritan here.
Yeah, that this was nothing compared to what they see on regular cable TV over there, which
Or
we've
walking down
all
the
three
street
of
with
us
the
have been
magazine stand.
exactly. All three of us have been to different countries, and we all have experienced it. Like it is. I mean, you're flipping through in your hotel room, and there's porn, HBO, Cinemax, no big deal. Type Skinemax.
Yeah.
But that's just normal television.
Right.
A lot of times they just don't. It doesn't faze them that much, and so.
But you know what's funny? What's interesting, too, on that topic is my husband said recently that the only reason that we wear clothes is to not make the other person uncomfortable. Isn't that interesting? I would have never thought about it that way.
The only reason we wear clothes
Is to make the other person not feel uncomfortable.
Huh.
So if we were sitting there naked...
So we're comfortable with our own nudity, but not with others'
Right.
nudity.
Because we are... And I think what he was getting at is because we are so judged by other people. Ooh, look at that person. Oh, gosh, she needs to work out. Oh, gosh, he needs to shave his chest or whatever.
He needs to gain some weight.
Right. He needs to gain weight or he
lose
needs to
weight.
work out or, whatever. So I thought that was very interesting, very insightful.
You know what you just did there?
What'd I do?
It's called a segue. It was pretty brilliant.
I did
Seeing
that.
how you don't know the topics.
I did that on purpose, by accident.
Yeah, seeing how you didn't even know what topic I was going to next. It's actually ideal that I bring this up because it's a two-part topic again. So this week, just a couple days ago, Giselle Bundchen,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Giselle.
gave her final walk on the runway. She has retired from runway modeling.
Oh.
I
Yes.
saw something on Facebook about that, but I have to say I didn't read the article.
Yes. Now, she's been walking the runway for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean that's respectable.
Yeah.
Is she 30?
I know, right? She is retiring to basically take care of her body, is what she said, her health,
Okay.
and be with her family.
So, which means she may put on, 5-10 pounds.
Maybe
and look
put
healthy.
on a little bit of weight. Probably be able to focus more on her business ventures that she has.
Yeah.
Her husband, as we know, probably, or maybe is Tom Brady from the Patriots. So he, she's got kids now. That's just, that's
Good for her.
yeah. She did a final walk, and her husband, her parents, her sisters, her brothers, her kids, everybody were in the audience. And so she did it at the where was she? She was in Brazil, I believe, for the Brazil Fashion Week stuff. So
Isn't that where she's from? Isn't she Brazilian?
maybe. But I don't know.
She might be- I
No,
can't
she's
remember.
German,
she's
right?
German. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
But it appears he wrote her a love note
her husband?
Tom?
after her final runway walk. Yes, that's what I saw on Facebook.
What'd it say?
I don't know. I haven't read it. I'm trying to find it. I haven't
Was
read
it like 50 Shades cool, or was it just, I can imagine what Tom Brady talks like. I don't know. It's like,
Hey, you did good, babe.
Yeah. Hey,
Good job.
that was awesome.
Good job.
Go team.
Good job out there.
Well, on Facebook, he said, "Congratulations, love of my life. You inspire me every day to be a better person. I'm so proud of you and everything you have accomplished on the runway."
Aw.
Oh,
And et
well, that's
cetera, et
nice.
cether, et cetera.
On Facebook for everybody to see, of
You
course.
never
course.
cease to amaze me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He must hate her.
It might be 50 Shades.
Yeah.
In real life.
Here's what she gave a quote about when she said that, she wanted to take care of herself. Basically, she said, automatically, my body tells me if what I do is worth it, and it asked to stop.
Huh.
She's like, I respect my body, and it's a privilege to be able to stop.
Does it say how old she is?
Well, she has been on the runway for 20 years, and her first runway show was at 14.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
All right, so 34.
Yeah, ish, probably. But anyway, good for her.
Yep.
She's beautiful, obviously. But to hear somebody say something like that about taking care of their body, especially a supermodel, then good for them. It's not just, oh, I'm so awesome, I want to go be a judge on America's Next Top Model.
By the way, she is Brazilian.
She is Brazilian. Okay, fabulous. How old is she?
34.
34.
34. There you go.
Born in 1980.
80.
Oh, at a girl.
But she may have to really work like every second of every day to look the way she is. And maybe she just doesn't want to do that anymore.
And I kudos to her.
Yeah.
I mean,
If it affects your happiness.
absolutely. I know a lot of people, rag on models and stuff, if you really know. All you got to do is get up and put on makeup and dress and all that stuff.
Coffee and cigarette diet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're, really wanting that career, you're not, you really do have to work at it. I mean, it's just like all of us on anything else we do. You have to work at it hard to get the appreciation from it. I read somewhere she's worth like $36 million or something.
Wow.
You ain't going to get paid that kind of money to just be a crappy person at your job.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
It's still her job.
And that life, I read another article just recently about a model who, she had an agent tell her, drink only water for 2 days because you've gained a little weight. You've gained 2 pounds. I think that the lifestyle can lend itself to being very unhealthy.
Well, and there again, going back to the whole still being judged for how you look and you have to be on your game, because I'm seeing more and more people in Hollywood getting their teeth capped. Which to me looks ridiculous on some people.
Did you ever see that?
Keira Knightley.
Did you ever see that movie with Bobcat Goldthwait and the horse, the racing horse?
A long time ago.
And the horse and he talks, but he's got that one tooth in the front that's right in the middle. I think of that every time that I've got this acquaintance that I know that just had his teeth capped, and he looks like that guy now.
You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, and at the end, the horse gets a little diamond put on the middle of the tooth.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just work it. But I
Some
mean,
bling in the mouth.
Yes.
you would think that we were getting away from that in society, but it's still there.
Well, so speaking of, so bravo to Giselle.
Yes.
For that side of it.
Congratulations.
But bravo to Sports Illustrated magazine for having the
I am
first
so excited about this.
plus size model.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. I hadn't got off the soapbox yet. Let me tell you why I'm super pumped about this.
This is why I have you on the show. This is why I chose these topics instead of, hey,
Yes.
let's talk about the Kardashians, which maybe we will in just a minute.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, I got questions with that. Anyway, when I saw that Sports Illustrated was going to get plus size models on there, I was so excited because I am a plus size girl with regard to society.
Society standards.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, and I am a plus size girl, not from head to toe. It's just I'm an apple, in other words. So I carry my weight in my midsection. I've got skinny legs. I've got skinny arms. I'm sort of kind of making myself look like Humpty Dumpty right now.
I was about to say, you do realize this is like a podcast. They can only hear what you're saying.
I am proportionate in the way that I need to be proportionate. But I'm a girl who grew up constantly battling those 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Constantly. I have lost 25 pounds and I have felt great about myself on the outside, but on the inside, I was literally killing myself. I've had a doctor say, you have to start taking care of yourself. You're killing yourself hormonally, your hair and skin's being affected, et cetera, et cetera. So, then I gained weight. I'm so sick and tired of going to stores, and if I am trying to look, I'm between a 14 and a 16 because there again, I carry my weight in my hips.
I'm oddly proportionate because I have gigantic boobs that I have to.
She does, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks for the confirmation. You're like,
Yeah,
that
really.
she does.
Yes.
But that causes for like a 2 sizes almost bigger in a shirt.
In a shirt. Exactly.
And so that I don't look like I'm trying to go to a wet t-shirt.
And do you
contest.
know that it's a couple dollars more
For the bigger sizes you get?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's ridiculous. I mean, I get it because they have to use, and I'm using air quotes here, people, more fabric.
Right.
But okay, so I rent my clothes. Some of y'all know that, okay?
Yes.
And what that means is, and I don't want to say the company's name because I don't want to necessarily give a plug without being asked to give a plug. But I rent my clothes. So in other words, I will get dresses in, and then I just pay a monthly fee, can wear them, and then send them right back.
Yes.
If I decide I want to buy them, then I can buy them. But it is a website specifically for women who are a size 10 and up.
Okay.
So I don't know what the biggest size that they have there. But it is the first time, and I'm 40, so it's the first time in my life that I have felt like I can dress fashionably and not look like I have on a tent or cheap material.
Yeah.
So when I saw that Sports Illustrated was going to have, these plus size models, these are not plus size models. These are beautiful, gorgeous women.
Yeah, they are.
And I literally looked at myself the other day in the mirror and I was like, I did not see something that disappointed me. And I hate that it's taken me this long and that I needed almost like permission not to feel bad about myself.
Beauty is not just skin deep. And I think that's what you have to remember as a society. I know beauty is what we see and it's the outward appearance, but there's so much more to people than just that.
Yeah.
Than just your size or the way your clothes fit. It's what do you do for others? How do you help people? So I think that and a lot of it's media.
Yeah.
All of it's media.
Yeah.
Because the rest of us could care less. But media wants people to look a certain way and they want to sell clothes a certain size. And
yeah. So the
not worth it.
dichotomy is that some people in Hollywood are getting their teeth capped. And then on the other end is
With bling.
Plus size is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have y'all noticed anything like on Facebook or Twitter, on TV commercials like Dove campaign, the Go
The Real
Beautiful
Beauty.
things, that they are, there's the women that come on TV, and again, I see nothing wrong with them because they look like me. They look normal like me, but they are by society standards plus size women. But they're like in their underwear or a t-shirt,
Right.
Love
on
it.
there. I know they're great commercials because they look so happy,
Yes.
and they look real
And comfortable.
there's a couple stretch marks here and there because they're
They've
women that
given
have had
birth.
kids. Exactly.
Think about that. The beauty in giving birth.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
this. In fact, Robin Lawley, who is the lady that is being featured in Sports Illustrated as a plus size model, she's a size 12, and she's pregnant right now too. So
Okay.
after she's had the pictures taken, obviously this has been done for a while, but now she is pregnant, and
But she's 6'2".
Yep.
Let's not forget.
I know.
A size 12 as a 6'2" looks a lot different than a size 12 at 5'4".
absolutely.
So I don't. If it's the one that I'm looking at, to me, she doesn't look like a plus
Let me
size
see.
model.
She doesn't, but she, again, by society standards, it's the curves, it's the inches.
I'm speechless.
See, this one,
That to me is not plus size. That right there is plus size.
and I don't know. When I Googled it, she came up as well, so I'm not sure.
And you know what's really, really awesome about her too? I mean, not only is she voluptuous, and we don't have a name with this model.
Right.
I mean, do you have a name
Robin
with her?
Lawley.
Yeah, Robin
Her.
Lawley.
Yeah.
But this is a different one.
Robin Lawley.
The one you just showed?
No, the one I just showed in the black bikini is
Right,
somebody
but
different.
no,
no,
the
Robin
one on-
Lawley's on
yes.
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. So Robin Lawley to me is beautiful, but to me personally, still sort of kind of falls into that Victoria's Secret
Yes.
model catalog.
A little sexy, curvy.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
voluptuous curvy. She's not what I would call
voluptuous. Give her about a size 14, 16, and I'm good.
Yeah.
There
I want
was
a little pudge.
there was a really interesting video that came out a while back that showed the different what was the ideal beauty in different time periods, and it started with the Romans and the Greeks and what people actually looked like during the Renaissance. I mean if you were not a 14 or a 16 during the Renaissance, you were not considered beautiful like 14 16 today. I mean but then you go into this you hit the 60s and it's Twiggy,
Right.
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
had no curves.
Which she has said herself, Twiggy has said, she had no idea it was going to be a boom like it was.
Right.
That in her era, and when women started to look skinny, they were going toward skinnier women because they were trying to detract your eye from looking at the women. They were supposed to be the equivalent of a coat hanger.
You're supposed to look at the clothes, not
You were
the
supposed
women.
Exactly.
Ew.
I want a cheeseburger so bad right now.
Yeah, no kidding. It's interesting because I've seen those. What was the thing I read? I mean, this was ages ago, where it compared things that we know in society as to what maybe they really were going to be. Like Marilyn Monroe was a size 14.
Yep.
And then they did the measurements of what a Barbie doll would be like if she was a real human being based on, like, they basically took her measurements as a doll. And I mean, there's no way that real life Barbie could stand up.
No.
Oh, because of her boobs?
And plus,
because
like,
of
her waist.
18-inch waist?
Well, like, her legs are not, like something from her knees to her ankles are way too long. Versus, it's little things that, like, this just not even...
She's just not proportionate.
She's not even, like, made properly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and of course now, I mean, I look at my daughters, like, Barbie dolls, I'm always like,
That bitch.
you're so not me. You are not me.
Hate you, Barbie.
But it's just funny, I love the whole new wave of real women, real stuff.
yeah.
Like, I just think that's great.
I'm loving it.
So I found out who this is. This is Ashley Graham, and apparently Sports Illustrated is doing an ad featuring her. And it says hashtag curves in bikinis, swimsuits for all, and she's a size 16, and I do not believe that she's as tall as 6'2". I mean, she doesn't look to be as tall as 6'2". But she got it going
beautiful.
on.
Atta girl.
She's gorgeous.
And that may have been the picture that I saw when I read the article.
Yes.
And I was slapping my desk. I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So their cover is a size 12 6'2" model that is a little bit more Victoria's Secret, but
Yes.
inside they're including ads for curvier
Yes.
girls.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Kudos.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's totally the type
Absolutely.
of girl I would go for if I were a guy. Or gay. I mean, I guess I don't have to
Hold
be
on
just
to.
a guy.
Yeah,
really.
Is it, they're all about that bass.
Hi, Alan and Chris here with an exciting announcement about something coming to the Western North Carolina area later this year. It's the first ever Foot Candle Film Festival.
That's right, an Honest to Goodness Film Festival that's happening September 25th through the 27th at the Salt Block in Hickory, North Carolina. Films are being submitted from all over the world to be considered.
Do you or someone you know have a film that you'd like to submit? Visit footcandle.org and follow the link to the festival for instructions.
Stay tuned later in the year as we announce our choices and start selling tickets.
Visit footcandle.org for more information. We'll see you in September.
Okay, so speaking of...
Oh, another segue.
Yeah, speaking of being who you want to be,
Yeah.
can we discuss Bruce Jenner for a second?
Okay. What is that for real? How can you be a gold medal
We're going to
winner?
find out on
Was it
April
decathlon?
24th when he sits down with Diane Sawyer
April 24th? I'm putting it on my calendar.
for a 2-hour interview that he has basically said is his last appearance as Bruce.
So is this what caused the split up?
I don't know.
Does
I
he
don't
like
know.
men? He's
don't
got
know.
like 1,000 kids.
I know, and they're all darn good looking. I've got such a little crush on the Jenner boys that I'm dying to know what all the kids are saying. But
I mean, he's just going to have everything
So my daddy's going to be a mommy?
removed.
well, they're all grown adults, and I don't know. I saw a picture of him wearing high heels, and it almost looked like it was supposed to be a joke. But I really think he
Yeah, we got to look that up.
maybe
really.
he really is. I don't know. And then, I've seen his hair has gotten really long. Obviously, that has nothing to do with it. He's had some facial reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, he looks weird.
He does look just awkward now.
He does.
And it's just, I know it's him. I mean, it's him. Everybody, whatever. But this man was on a Wheaties box. Okay, so here's my thing. I don't care
Yeah.
if you want to be a man or a woman or if you want to swap from day to day. I don't care.
Yep.
But I'm so curious, and I'll never know the real truth, but I'm so curious as to whether or not this has always been the case for him.
I
And
know,
he's just
right?
fought it.
This is the downside of podcasts. I'm totally showing the girls a picture of Bruce Jenner
When
back
he was
in the
from his
like
glory
the
days.
80s.
Yeah.
And he was hot.
Wasn't
Yeah.
he decathlon?
Yes,
Winner? Yeah.
gold medal.
I mean,
I remember that.
Yes. Because, it's just, it's a, It's and it's not one of those things like, I mean, this is just a little different than like your favorite athlete committing a crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to where they're tarnished a little
Yeah.
bit. This one, it's like he's sort of taken away the athlete that everybody
Exactly.
admired.
Exactly. Which, you know, if his true self is to
exactly
is like you said, to have always wanted to be a woman. Now, I'm fascinated by biology and psychology and
Yes.
sociology. I have so many questions. Will he date men
right.
Or women.
or women? Does it have absolutely nothing to do with his sexual preference? It's all about how he feels.
And what he wants to
Right.
look like.
And maybe that's what he will answer.
Right.
So I'm totally going to watch
All
it.
I have to say is if it's a media ploy, oh my word.
I
Can you
know.
imagine
I
going
would
through something
be
like that from me. I mean,
so
From media.
mad.
yeah. And
If
it could
this
be.
is kind of well, let's play this up
Right.
Yeah.
because of our family.
Because, whatever surgery he has, kind of looks like a woman. Let's make some money off of it.
Let's ride this.
Is he going to have his stuff removed?
I don't know. So let me read you a little bit of what it says.
Ouch.
So this was a quote from HollywoodLife.com. Said they spoke to an insider that he plans to watch the interview online live
Okay.
when it happens on April 24th with his family because he knows that he's going to have to sit there and he is going to see them cry.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He's like, many questions and perhaps things that his children don't understand or can't wrap their heads around will be answered. He's certain that his children and even Kris Kardashian, as we're speaking of, will have a lot of emotions while watching. He wants to be there for each of them, comforting them and wiping their tears from their faces as he unravels a secret that's been eating him alive for most of his life.
Oh.
He is reportedly saying, quote, farewell to Bruce after this interview, and he plans to live his life totally as a woman.
What's his name going to be?
Brianna.
Well, they haven't announced it. It even said that he says the interview will start at 9 p.m. on April 24th on ABC, and the first trailer reveals that it will be far-ranging, I guess talking about lots of different topics.
Yeah.
But as to whether Bruce reveals his female name or dresses as a woman is left to be seen, although outlets have denied that this will happen. So, are you going to watch the interview?
Absolutely.
I'm just
I
curious.
don't have cable.
I know. Just
So
This is
I'll have
not
to watch
cable.
it. Yeah, I'll have to watch. Oh, it's
ABC.
I don't have. No, I don't have.
I don't have cable either,
I have to
but
watch
I
it
get
online.
ABC.
I have to get ABC online.
How could you,
Can you
not?
not
Why
watch
do you
it
not
on
have
Apple
digital
TV?
TV?
On Apple
Oh well,
TV?
that's silly.
I don't have an antenna. I would have to watch it on Apple TV. Stream it.
Yeah, I
after
don't
the
get.
fact.
I don't have cable either, but I have
I don't have an antenna.
the digital
Yeah,
ones.
no.
So
All I have Apple TV and all the things that come with it.
yeah,
I'm so
a Roku
confused. Like we have cable in one room, but we've got Apple TV in the other rooms. So
we have Roku,
yes,
which has Netflix on it, and then we have a digital antenna which gives us ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and PBS.
So can you watch those live? Because I'm
Yeah.
constantly watching Netflix or Hulu, so I don't ever watch
That's all
the
I
other
watch.
things. On
All I
there.
watch is Netflix, Hulu, and then I have a website that I won't say online because it's not exactly legal. That I watch all of my shows from.
Tell us after the show.
That's where I watch all my shows. Like if it came on an hour ago, it's posted on this website.
Oh, sweet.
And then and I can broadcast that up on my TV. And then I'll watch. We have the digital antenna because then you can get like local news, local, those things. Like it's just a little bit more of like an emergency type thing.
I don't have that at
But
all.
it's got PBS on it.
I have just the Apple TV that has Netflix and Hulu and all
Yeah.
the other streaming. So
Yeah.
I don't have a digital antenna.
So
Yeah.
now that we all know each other's innards of the cable world,
Innards.
Bruce. So
Yeah, I
like
feel
I
bad.
said,
If
hey, if you want to be a woman, I do not care. I think good for you. Be what you want to be. I am happy that you're happy.
And I feel sad if he's lived his life.
I do too.
Absolutely.
I do
If this
too.
is something you've had to hold in for this time, like my goodness, thank goodness it's out then.
Yeah.
But you know, if and I've had this discussion with my husband before. If my husband were to come and tell me, you know, I have never felt comfortable being a man, I would like to live my life as a woman, my first thought would not be to divorce him. Now, if he does not want to be married to me anymore, if he doesn't want to be in a relationship with a woman, physical or not, you know, then I would have to respect that. But I wouldn't divorce my husband. I mean, that's your best friend. And
Right.
It makes me curious as to think, like you said, the whole sexual preference is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because does that mean he does not want to be? And now he and Kris Jenner have already separated.
Yeah.
So that's nothing. But let's say they were still together, which if they're telling the truth about this, then he's been feeling this way while he was married to her.
which would upset me.
So, yes.
But,
Right.
So if
you know.
he wanted to, let's say that they were still together and he went to her and said, I've been hiding this forever. I feel like being a woman. This is who I am. I'm going to start changing over to a female, and I'm not, you know, attracted to men, but I just feel like myself, I'm meant to be a woman.
Right.
So then, you know, you're saying that you would stay in that relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's still the same person.
Yep.
It's just a happier version of them.
Right.
I think the only thing that would upset me is the fact that Kris is his second wife, or maybe third. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so then I would feel like I personally, as not the first wife, had been lied to, because then not only did you marry me, knowing that maybe you had these feelings secretly, but then we also had kids together. Just tell
look,
me.
there's
up front.
homosexual men, there's lesbian women that do that every day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, I can remember a friend of mine from college who actually, a couple years after college, came out of the closet, told me that he was a gay man, that he had found somebody, that he was happy, he was tired of hiding it, so forth, so on. And I thought that he was happy in college. I thought he was a very happy person. And to see him now, it's like,
Relief.
I don't even think I knew you back then, because you weren't this person. You were putting up a whole new person for me. So, you know, it makes you wonder, is like, was Bruce not even really the person that that she married?
I mean, how old is he? Like in his 60s?
Probably.
I mean, to have gone your whole life in torture like that is, I mean, it's really sad. It really is. And so I do hope that he finds peace.
I do too. And I hope that, I mean, the whole family does, you know, I mean, whether it is a welcome change or not, it's still a big deal. I mean, even if you're like, you know what, Dad, I'm so happy for you. That's a really awesome thing. You know, I fully support you. It's still a big flipping deal.
Yeah.
It's
your
gonna take a while
whole
to get
life,
used to.
yeah, and your whole life is in the spotlight already.
Right.
Now you add this and the hurtful things that people could say. Oh my goodness!
Oh,
now
I'm
he was
sure.
married to Linda Thompson before this.
Okay.
Before Kris, and that's who he had his lovely sons with. And I mean, look at this picture. And again, podcasting, I get it, but I mean, they were an it couple.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Look at, I mean, what a looker.
he is handsome,
good looking.
right?
Yeah.
He's super handsome then. But you know,
much now.
she's singer, songwriter, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So and then he had another wife. So there's actually been 3 wives, but
Well, he was trying to compensate, maybe. I don't know.
maybe. Yeah, so I don't know. I just can't, like, I'm looking at his pictures of like before and after.
Yeah.
And it's just not
It's a little
aging.
reminiscent of Michael Jackson,
A little bit.
don't you think? I mean, look at the face.
A little bit.
yeah.
A little bit. You're absolutely
extreme
right.
change.
yeah.
Really cute to not.
But I am kind of curious enough to watch it on the 24th.
God, yeah.
So stay tuned for that one. All right. So do either of you, whether it's on cable or Apple TV or anything else, watch the Duggars?
No.
No.
So you know who they are.
Yes.
They've got
19
19 kids.
and counting.
Jeez Louise.
19.
Supposedly.
Right, yeah, who knows. So I talk about them a lot on the show because I am fascinated by them.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand them.
Nope.
So, 19 kids. Okay, real brief overview. 19 kids, all from the same parents, none adopted, nothing else. They are all given birth to by Michelle, and Jim Bob is his name.
Jim Bob. Well, I'll keep my comments
Yep.
to myself.
Moving on. All the children have J names. Okay. They range from about age 27, I believe, now, down to,
years.
2 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. They now have 3 children that are married.
Okay.
On their own.
And some having babies.
Mm-hmm. The oldest one, Josh, has 3 children and 1 on the way. Okay, so their oldest grandchildren are older than their youngest children.
Is she going to have a 20th kid?
She is letting the powers
Nature.
that be decide that for her.
Wow. How
Yes.
old are
Well, I
Jim
have
Bob
a
and
segue to
They're
this,
in their
too.
50s.
Michelle? Oh, see,
I believe-
we might need to stop.
Did you see the article about the 65-year-old woman pregnant with quintuplets?
Yes,
I believe.
I did.
Take
She
me
is
now.
a mother of 13 already, and she was artificially inseminated because she wanted another child at the age of 65.
In this country?
No, she's German.
Okay.
The last child that she had was born she was 55,
Yeah.
and now she is ready for more. I'm just thinking, biologically,
Yeah, I'm really, I'm just, Michelle and Jim Bob, I've kind of moved on past them. They were the weird ones at first to me. I didn't understand it, but now it's so bizarre. Okay, so they're, again, on the brief history of them, the 19 kids, the second one that got married, Jill, she just had her first baby, and she has been married like 9 months and 2 days.
Okay.
And she just had her baby. Okay. So she, honeymoon baby,
Yeah.
got
yeah,
pregnant. They're all very, very public about everything. The cameras are in their household and, from day one.
They have their own commune with that many people.
Okay. So Michelle is 48 and Jim Bob is 49. Okay.
and the oldest child is how old?
27.
27.
Right. All right. So here we go. Here's how it goes. Josh, Jana, John, Jill, Jessa, Ginger, Joseph, Josiah, Joanna, Jedediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin, Jackson, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie.
Okay, they were stretching it with Ginger, by the way.
Right, with the Ginger.
They were stretching it with
Yeah.
Ginger.
There are 2 sets of twins, I believe, throughout. But anywho, so the way that they work is they have no debt. They own properties. They don't go into too much detail about it, but they have no debt. They operate on a no debt system.
Okay.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Props. They have a house. They all, they share rooms, but it's a big house, big enough house. They're not like crammed in some little hole. They have lots of vehicles because there's enough of them to have to go somewhere. They have a buddy system within their family, which means from the day you were born, you have a range of older kids within the family that are your buddy team.
Okay.
That team does things together, and it gives a range then of ages. The oldest one's paired with a middle child to a younger one, and so you have your team that's sort of who you do things with, right? They all have a certain amount of chores that they have to do every day. They are homeschooled. A couple of them have a pilot's license. Another one is a midwife. They all do things.
So
like this
the
too.
older ones, the ones that are married, do they
Yes.
still live at home?
No.
Okay.
None
Okay.
of them live at home. They have a system for dating, which is courting. Mm-hmm. And they start courting first, which they ask permission for from the dad. So they go courting, and they can go on dates, but they have to be supervised. And there's no hugging except for side hugs. Mm-hmm. Okay, side hugs, no kissing, and no holding hands until you are engaged.
Is this a part of their faith
Yeah,
beliefs?
There's some. It's a type of religion, I believe. I don't know. They are very spiritual people. Yes, very godly when they speak of things, but I don't know that this is something that is enforced in that church. It's more of a family way of things.
Okay.
And so they'll go on these dates, but Jim Bob and Michelle are like two little whippersnappers. Like, he's constantly, like, bending her backwards and dipping her down and giving her these big old kisses and stuff, you know, and, like, they'll go on double dates, as they'll call it, you know, so that they can chaperone for the teens that are dating.
Yeah.
But, I mean, keep in mind, if you're going on a date with somebody, you're probably going to be getting married. Because they are courting at that point. They don't just go and hang out.
Right.
So then they have to be dating people of their faith, too.
It seems like a lot of the times that I hear of them courting somebody, or the people that have just recently gotten married, it's like you'll hear them say something like, oh, well, you know, I love their beliefs, or I have a big family too, or I come from blah, 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 or maybe they've known each other somehow, they've met through the church, or, So,
wow.
I don't think they have to have that faith.
No, they're independent Baptist, and they adhere to the Christian patriarchy movement, according
Christian
to
patriarchy movement.
Google.
That's what I've heard before. Yeah. Now, as much as I want to think that they are really weird and I don't get it,
Right.
there's the other part of me that when I'm watching the show, I'm always like, like,
It's really cool.
they're all
in a
so
way.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a simpler.
It's a simple,
time,
exactly.
you know.
Right.
There's they do have computer. You know, I mean, they use computer time. They have you know, they fix each other's hair. They put on makeup. The girls are silly. They, you know, whatever. But like, they're all extremely well behaved.
Yeah.
And I know it's television. I'm not by any means saying like I see every second of it, but you know, they're just beliefs and stuff now. So that means that they've never kissed each other until their wedding day.
Okay.
Means they've
Obviously not had sex.
correct.
There's been no 50 Shades.
No, not even one shade.
Yeah.
So it's just baffles me that like I don't know.
It's like, how
it's
can you
horrible
know?
to think about.
It's almost
but
like, how can
I
you
know,
know? How can
I
you
know.
know?
But then you go into the whole like Jill Duggar is the one that just got married and just had the baby.
Okay.
You know, so they make this big to do on the TV shows. They make her wedding, and then they pretty much it's like a Pinterest wedding at that
Yeah.
point. You know, they do everything. They throw all these fun little parties because all the they have enough kids to make lots of decorations. You know,
Absolutely.
and then hang them
Yes.
up and everything else. So they do this for the wedding. It's a big wedding because of all their church family and stuff too. And then they get married. They have their first kiss, and then like they come back from their honeymoon and they're pregnant. And she like announces it when she was like 8 weeks pregnant or something because she was just like, I'm so excited. I want everybody to be involved with it. I'm pregnant. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's just weird to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Well, I mean, you know, I guess that's
you
what they're
had
exposed
your
to.
first kiss,
and your
first time having sex,
everything,
and you got pregnant.
Well, and I think you have to remember they're probably looking, based upon family history, as sex for procreation.
Right. It's practice.
It might be fun too, but it's really to populate the earth.
Well, what they say, the mom, Michelle always says it, is that, you know, as you are when you are married, you are constantly practicing things. Like, you know, you're always growing as a wife, you're growing as a family, like you're never done learning.
Yeah.
Right? So she always says, practice makes progress.
Well, there
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
And then she said, and then the
She did well
daughters
at
will
that,
say,
didn't she?
practice makes progress and progress makes babies.
I wonder how much they get for the show.
I don't know, but they're debt free and they all have like jobs, you know, the dad goes off and whatever, but it's just such a weird thing to watch. And then, my favorite part is when Cousin Amy comes to town.
Cousin Amy, who's that?
Because Cousin Amy doesn't adhere to their rules.
Okay.
Oh, so she's the rebel in the family.
Yes.
I sort of kind of
But
feel like
she's
this is a
awesome. She's
show
always
about my
she's-
life.
She's great. Like Cousin Amy, I mean, she's not like hell on wheels or anything. She just kind of comes in and she's wearing her short shorts and her stuff, and she loves all the kids. She comes over to babysit or anything else. You know, she loves them. They all love Cousin Amy, but you know, the camera will cut away and like Amy looks at the camera and will be like, "What are they talking about?" Or she'll be like, "I can't believe like there's 19 of them." Or yeah, I mean,
So is she from Michelle or Jim Bob's side?
I think it's Jim Bob's. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Jim Bob's.
Like his cousin or something?
It's
or-
like his brother's daughter.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
his niece.
Yeah.
Does his brother have as many kids?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the Duggar.
But it's funny, and they've hinted to things before about how they are very that Jim Bob and them have, they started off their relationship different. And I'm always like, ooh, I want to know, like, what do you mean? How'd you start off?
Yeah. Did y'all like?
Yeah, that was the little scandal in my family.
Well,
my grandma had my uncle before they were married.
Oh, see, baby.
In the 1930s.
I encourage you both to at least like
I'm
Google
watching
a
it.
little clip
Me
or
too,
something
yeah.
and watch, because it will be. You're like, wait, y'all seem a little normal, and then I watch it and like your 2-year-old has laundry duty,
No,
Okay, that's weird.
right?
I'm watching it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, this or that, real quick.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Wait, I didn't answer. Dogs, chocolate. Mad Men or Downton Abbey?
Downton Abbey.
Oh, I know, right?
Downton Abbey.
With a little Mad Men on the side.
I don't know. Can John Hamm be in
Yeah, really?
Downton
See,
Abbey?
I'm Mad Men because of that. That's all. I love Downton Abbey, but boy, Mad Men has got me tangled up. Red or pink?
Red.
Red.
Red. Fly or drive?
Fly.
Depends on where.
Fly or drive?
Okay, fly.
Fly here as well.
Especially if it's a private plane.
Excuse me, I've never been on a private
Me
plane.
neither.
Goodness. Scrabble or Trivial Pursuit?
Trivial
Pursuit all the way.
Me too, unless I'm playing with y'all.
Then it's dirty Scrabble.
Yeah.
Yes. Rice or couscous?
Rice.
Rice.
Rice. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star
Have you
Wars.
seen the new trailer?
Yeah, just came out.
know.
Looks pretty swanky.
Geek alert.
Yes.
Nerding out over here. William or Harry?
Oh, you've asked me that one before. And it's
I ask
always
it everyone.
Harry. It's always Harry.
Oh, I know this one's always tough for Suzanne. Though.
I know, because I don't like,
I like the bad
fair-haired
boy.
men.
I like the bad boy and Harry.
Did you say you don't like fair-haired men?
I don't. I don't.
I bet they don't like being called fair-haired.
I don't.
Fair-haired.
Fair-haired men to me look weak. I like a dark-headed
Weak?
man. Yes. My apologies to anyone that's fair-haired as a
husband's
man. I guess William, because he's going to be king, and I think
And
I
they're
going to
have a new
queen.
baby soon.
Okay, so she's not had it?
No.
No, due date is like April 25th.
All right, and I hate that they don't find out what they're going to have.
They know.
It just kills me.
They know. We just don't know.
I know.
That's what you hate.
I know.
All
I
right.
hate that they know and we don't.
That's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
That's what you meant to say.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Super good.
Thank you.
And motivational, nice time. I felt like, we didn't just gossipy this time. We talked about real issues like women's bodies.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Real beauty.
Bruce Jenner.
Real beauty and Bruce Jenner.
Okay, that is
Complete
weird.
opposites.
Yeah, really.
All right.
Although it will be beautiful if he expresses himself.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay, go. Sorry.
You've got a coffee date to go find your the back room boy.
Backroom boy.
All right. So, thanks for listening to Chick Chat here on The Mesh. Remember, we will be having a crossover episode with Foot Candle as soon as 50 Shades of Grey comes out on iTunes. So stay tuned for that. We're holding the boys to it as well. If you have any questions or want to give us any feedback, please feel free to email us at info@themesh.tv, or you can call us on our voicemail line, 828-619-0048. That means that you can leave a message. We will listen to it, and if it's nice enough, we might play it on the air. Find us on Facebook and Twitter, and also on Instagram under The Mesh TV. So, thanks for listening, and I will be recording a second episode. So this is like part 1, if you will. We've got more coming up next week, and we'll release it right after this one's out. So enjoy your week. We'll catch you on the flip side.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.